later and more so, or later and less so. How, as Brian says, his question is it more or less pervasive? I think it's, like I say, it's getting louder. Everyone is very, very insistent on this whole male-female equality thing. And it's like, well, okay, I'm a big believer in equality before the law, but we don't have that in our society. If a woman got pregnant, she wanted to have an abortion, and the guy who got her pregnant took her to court to stop her from having the abortion, I think we know what would happen in that case. She would have the abortion, in which case the two of them having each donated 23 chromosomes to the baby, her 23 chromosomes in our society, we believe, is Trump. He's, pardon the expression, and his 23 chromosomes are completely irrelevant. So it's one of those, to me, I don't think we've even gotten to the point of having a relevant discussion about these things. We just have very, very strongly held prejudices that completely negate dissenting viewpoints. When Brian goes on to say, also does he think that the debate about interchangeability is another enactment of God versus YHWH unfolding before us or not? Yes, definitely. I mean, it seems to me that that's what we're listening to is the women who are the most vocal in our society, I think, are directly linked to and are channeling YHWH. So you essentially get extremely how would I put this? Extreme viewpoints on the interchangeability of gender, because I think all of that issues from YHWH being convinced that YHWH is God. So consequently, the only fallback position from there is that God and YHWH are both deity. One of them, inhabits the earth, and the other created the entire universe. And it's like, well, I don't think that's the case, but I'm also the only one who thinks that God and YHWH are two different beings. Definitely the whole he, she, it thing seems to me to come directly from the YHWH. And it's the YHWH doesn't strike me as being in debate category or discussion category. It's definitively held viewpoints that are just, this is not open for discussion. In order to try and, if you were to try and to begin a discussion with feminists, which I really don't think is possible at this point, but let's theoretically talk about being able to talk to feminists about something. A good starting point would be, okay, if the genders are interchangeable, why don't we just have one set of Olympic events? Men and women both competing at the Olympics in high jump or whatever. You do understand that if we ever did that and said, okay, no more sexist dividing up the Olympics, there's one Olympic, and we're going to find out who the best athlete is, whoever he or she turns out to be. You do realize that no woman would ever compete in the Olympics again. I say that would be the starting point because I'm not sure that feminists understand that. And I'm not sure that any any feminist would actually acknowledge that. If you can't acknowledge something as self-evident as the fact that if men and women both competed in the same event in the Olympics, no woman would ever compete in the Olympics again, then you're just not capable of perceiving reality. It would be maybe an exaggeration to say you're clinically insane, but that wouldn't be far from the truth. So it's like, okay, if we can't even find a meeting point on that, then okay, there's no point in discussing interchangeability of gender, sex, race, and species, because you won't allow yourself to perceive fundamental accuracy, and consequently there's nothing to talk about. All we can do is just keep persevering in whatever it is that we're turning society into, and just hope that somewhere up ahead this gets better. Either the really, really loud feminists who really have absolutely zero grasp of reality either decide, okay, it's time to stop doing this. We have to start getting back towards reality, something that we can that women would acknowledge. Yes, if we did have one Olympics with men and women both competing in the same event, no woman would ever be competing in the Olympics again. That's hidden from us. The loudest women just would turn that into character assassination. You're just a Nazi, or whatever it is that they would say is the response to me saying that. And it's like, well, okay, if you can't confront the actual discussion, you have to default into ad hominem attacks. Then again, we're not at the point of being able to discuss anything intelligent.